Thanks for downloading another segment from the Best of the Classic Metal Show. The Classic Metal Show is heard live on Saturdays from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern, exclusively at www.theclassicmetalshow.com. And now here's another piece of Classic Metal Show history on the Best of the Classic Metal Show.
The Classic Metal Show.
That's Mountain live with the Mississippi Queen as chosen by... You don't like Leslie West and Mountain?
I do like Mountain a lot, actually, man. It's a band we don't play enough here on this show.
Really?
No, I know that song. Do they have others?
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know one other song.
Well, I got to be honest with you, I don't either.
They had the one song. They are the epitome of a one-hit wonder because there's nobody can even name one other song.
I saw Leslie West open up for... Shoot, who was it? It was up in Cleveland.
Foghat? Boy, it was a real hit fest that night.
No. I'm trying to remember who I can't remember if I went to see a comedian or if I went to see another band and he opened up for him, and I'm trying to remember who it was.
Dude, you know your career's gone down if you're opening for comedians.
Yeah, I was at the Cleveland, at some theater in Cleveland. It was some theater in Cleveland. I'm trying to remember who Mountain opened for, though.
Nice.
But, yeah, Leslie West, remember him? He used to be a big fat ass.
I've never even seen a picture of him.
Really? He tipped the scales at, 350 pounds plus, and he, lost all this weight. He had that gastric bypass surgery, and...
Okay.
Yeah, he just looked awful, and now he's down to 120 pounds,
Jesus, now he's dying because he can't eat.
Yeah, exactly. So he was a favorite on the Howard Stern show years ago too, if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember vaguely that he used to call in, but you want the truth? I used to almost always turn off Howard when he had musical guests on because Howard's taste in music is just shit.
Well, he liked Enough's Enough.
Okay, that's one band. I can also tell you that I went right out and bought a record called Stars. The name of the song was Stars, and the band was called Hum, based solely on the Howard Stern recommendation. And that might have been the worst album I ever owned. Even worse than that band Bag that we played at one point.
Are you talking about the band Stars?
No, the band was called Hum.
Oh, Hum.
And the song was called Stars, and Howard played the goddamn song a zillion times on the air for a year. So I bought the stupid record, and there was not another good note on it except for the one song.
I don't even remember that. When do you think that was?
Oh, man, mid-'90s, 95, 96. It was during the alt-rock days.
Wow. Nope, I don't rightly remember that band being promoted, but
it was a band that you would never have listened to, dude. It was like truly what was going on in the mid to late 90s, that really bad alt-rock stuff.
Well, do you remember when Howard came to Cleveland for his book signing?
Sure do. I was on the book signing or the when they cut the cables?
No, the book signing, not when he did the thing down in the flats. When he became number one in Cleveland, he did that thing in Cleveland at the flats, and WMMS cut his wires and stuff.
Yeah, I was at that. That was the book signing.
No. I'm saying that's when you went there, but I went to the book signing, which was in the middle of winter.
Okay.
And it was like the biggest blizzard northeastern Ohio had in years.
Okay.
And I braved the storm. And actually went to the book signing, which they had at a Borders Books in Richmond Heights or something like that.
Okay.
And the roads were just awful, and I was doing 25 mile an hour in the snow in a blizzard,
right?
To go to this book signing, and he showed up and did the book signing, and I stood online for 3 hours.
So there was a lot of people there anyway.
Oh, there was a ton of people there.
Nice. Well, the guy was great at one time.
Yeah, I haven't heard him in years. Ever since he went to Sirius, since I don't have Sirius, I haven't heard him since then.
I peek over every once in a while. It's kind of contrived. He was great. You want the truth? To me, he jumped the shark when he got divorced.
Probably. He kind of lost that edge.
Another guy that went Hollywood.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the thing is there's that old saying that money just ruins everything, doesn't it?
Nah, well, it definitely did with him. But boy, he's got a lot of it.
Well, isn't that what George Lynch said last week in his interview? It's hard to be hungry when you got $10 million in the bank.
Yep, exactly. Well, Stern is really playing up to that, though. 4-day work weeks and stuff now.
Oh, really? He only does a show 4 days a week?
Yeah, he doesn't do Fridays.
Oh, okay.
And then, to me, you know what? I don't even mind that so much as the whole premise behind the whole Howard 100, Howard 101, Howard News. They do news breaks every hour where they'll break in and they'll be like, yeah, today in Howard News, Gary the retard lost a tooth. News here coming up next. You know, it's like, shut up. Who cares?
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. But on that Howard Stern network, my brother-in-law, who is best friends with Bubba the Love Sponge,
right,
who does afternoons.
Sure.
He was actually here in town. When was it? It was back in.
Wasn't it?
It was back about a month or so ago.
Was that it? I thought it was at Christmas time.
No, well, he came home to visit his parents at Christmas time, but he was here in town speaking at some kind of a convention or something.
Nice.
And I was out of town on business that weekend, and next time he comes in, I'm going to see if I can get him to come here to the CMS studio.
Oh, that'd be cool, man.
So, we'll see.
Will you know anything to talk to him about? Have you ever listened to him?
I actually have, my brother-in-law has Sirius in his car.
Okay.
So if we're taking his car somewhere in the afternoon, then he'll tune in and listen.
Right. Well, maybe you guys do have one thing in common, your love for racing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, should we talk about that a little bit?
Sure, why not?
All right, I'll tell you a little bit about my racing experience with the Indy 500.
Yeah, this is for all of you fans, this is a classic Neeley story. This is one of those that you're not going to believe this shit.
Well, that's true, dude. I've never been a race fan per se. In fact, I've only been to one or two professional races in my life when I lived out in California back in the 80s.
Okay.
There used to be a racetrack in Riverside, California, Riverside Raceway.
Okay.
So I attended a couple of races there, and to me it was just like, all right, see cars running around the track, they go buzzing by you at 150, 200 miles an hour, and they do that so many times. But how many times can you see the same car go around the track and go blowing by you, and you go, wow, that was great. Okay, what's next?
Yeah, no, it does get a little dull quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, so anyway, I'm not going to get into the whole semantics of this, but this year, my brother-in-law and I, through associations with another company, we got a suite in Indianapolis this year.
Okay, now, just so the fans are aware, for what event did you get this suite for?
Well, it's for the whole season of Indianapolis, which includes, of course, the whole month of May, the run up to the Indy 500.
So, the Indianapolis 500, also known as the Super Bowl of racing.
Absolutely.
By far, the biggest race in racing.
I would say so, yes.
And you have luxury suite. For how many people, just out of curiosity, how many people could you have taken with you to Indy?
80 people.
So you had, between you and your brother-in-law, you had the ability to treat 80 people first class, the best treatment they could possibly get at the Super Bowl, basically on the 50-yard line, to watch the Super Bowl of racing.
That's correct.
Okay, continue your story.
All right, so we had this suite, which, which wasn't cheap.
Right.
And it's good for the whole season of racing, the Brickyard 400 and all that. And my brother-in-law and, my nephews and, everybody from extended family, they're all into racing. I've been invited to go to the 500 for the last 12 years, and I never went. Because, it's just not my cup of tea. I've been to races in Riverside, as I said, and watch it on TV and whatnot. And you go, oh,
sure,
that's pretty cool, There's cars running around, going hundreds of miles an hour, whatnot. So during the month of May, they're doing their time trials and their warm-ups and, doing the adjustments to the cars and carb day and bump day and, just basically getting it pared down to the team owners that will be in the race for the Indy 500.
Which that their side of it, that's fine. But the piece you're leaving out is that you can go and be a part of all this.
Yeah, we, being a suite owner as well as a team sponsor, which we were.
Okay.
We could go down to the pits and track side during this. We could actually go down to the pit wall, right where the cars come in and get the tires changed and get refueled and whatnot, and you could be right there, right next to the car as it comes in off the track.
Now, this is for just the trials, or this is for the actual race?
This is for the entire month of May, and if you're a team sponsor, you get what they call a hard card.
Okay.
Which allows you to go into the pits on race day as well.
Okay.
And then if you're if your team owner, the one that you sponsor really has something, you have a good relationship with them, they will give you what they call a hot pass.
Okay.
It's basically a sticker to your hard card or your laminate that will allow you to be in the pit during the 500.
So in theory, let me make sure I understand this. Say you were a race fan.
Okay.
And you're a big fan of, I don't know, Danica Patrick or Dale Jr. or whoever, right? Let's say Dale Jr.
Okay, well that's stock car racing. That is an open wheel Indy
Well, then
racing.
let's say Danica Patrick, because I know she was involved in that race.
Right, exactly.
So if you personally are a big fan of Danica Patrick, as a race fan, as just a dude that likes hot chicks, if you're a fan of Danica Patrick, you legitimately could have gone down and been in the pit during the race.
That's correct.
And maybe put your hands on the tires and whatnot as they were getting changed out and stuff.
Yeah, if that's what turns you on, yeah.
All right, continue your story, because you're fucking unbelievable to me with this story, but go ahead.
So anyway, I go down to the suite the first week where they're doing, basically warm up and adjusting the cars and, doing time trials and whatever. And
right.
Like I said,
it's cool. Now, wait a minute, you're playing this off like and whatever. They're getting the cars ready for the biggest race of the entire year, and you can go down on the track, basically.
Yeah, right on next to the wall there, which the wall is like 3 feet high.
And you can be you can feel the heat coming off of the car.
Oh, yeah, you're that close to the car, yeah.
But you're blowing it off like, I just went down there and they were doing some.
Yeah, well, you can go down to pit row on the other side of the fence and walk along pit row and actually touch the tires and, actually, as you said, feel the heat coming off the car, and you can just go down there wandering around.
See, now to probably a good portion of our fans, all those Hilljacks that we have that listen with their crank modems and whatnot, that is like the fucking penultimate of anything.
That's a dream come true.
A dream come true for half of our audience to be part of that race.
Right.
For you, I get to go down and see these fucking cars get tuned up.
And you can go to the garages where they're, working on them and whatnot. And so you walk around. And again, I'm not trying to, diminish what this is about, but this is me personally talking.
Right.
So, I go down there, and I see these cars come barreling around the track. They're doing time trials. The average speed down there is like 220.
Okay, which is, man, it's fast.
Yeah, that is fast. So they come blowing by, and
right.
You stand down there for 20 minutes or a half hour and watch these cars come around. Now, this track is 2 miles around.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it takes them approximately 50 to 55 seconds to make the loop.
Jesus.
So for every 50 or 55 seconds, you're seeing the same cars go by.
But it's got to be. Now, being, on TV, it looks slow. I mean, it just does. It doesn't look fast at all. But I would imagine actually being there, you can barely tell what car is what because it's so fast going by you.
Well, it is, and even standing there, it just blows right by. The only way you can actually get a good look at the car, is if you're standing up in the suite, because the suite is elevated above the grandstand.
Right.
Or if you're standing at the very end of pit row where they come around the corner and you're looking at it head on. But once it gets up on you and gets by you, it's like a blur.
Okay, cool.
So
to me, it would be cool to see. But
yeah, it is, and it is cool to see. Don't get me wrong. But after about a half hour of that, what else is there to see? That's my point. You get down there. It's one of those things. It's kind of like going to an amusement park.
Right.
And you got this anticipation of riding, the biggest, baddest roller coaster there in the park.
Okay.
And you ride it like maybe twice.
Right.
And after that, the thrill's over.
If you went to the Super Bowl, I mean, all the Super Bowl really is some guys throwing a football to some other guys and then another guy tackling them over and over again. Pretty close to accurate?
I wouldn't say so, because in the Super Bowl, you never know what to expect.
You don't know what to expect in this. You got cars going 220 miles an hour. You're just waiting for devastation and death.
Yeah, but it would have to happen directly in front of you to see it, though.
Okay.
Because this track is 2 miles around, and for all intents and purposes, you're only seeing about a quarter mile of it, a quarter to a half a mile of it.
So basically, if I could shorten this story just a touch, at this point in your day, you go down to the biggest event in racing in the United States, and you're there a half hour and you're ready to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, I've seen these cars blow by me 30 times already. I mean, seriously, you say one minute per lap. So you stand down there for 30 minutes. They've blown by you 30 times.
Okay.
So after about the 30th time of seeing the same cars go by you, what else is there?
How many times have you seen Dokken?
Oh, shit. 30, 40 times been on the road with them.
Have you ever left the show because you've heard those songs played before?
I never left the show, but I didn't stand there intently watching either. I don't know. It's just hard to explain. It's just either it's your cup of tea or it's not.
Yeah, you're a fancy man and you're spoiled. No, that's what this is.
Well, I'll admit that it was exciting for the first half hour. But then, like I said, okay, the cars blow by you 30 times in a half hour.
Right.
They come in for a tire change. They get them up on a jack, change the tire, and they're back out on the track literally in 15 to 20 seconds.
Okay.
That's how fast they do it. So they come in for 2 tire changes.
Right.
You see them change a tire twice on the same car.
Okay.
All right. I saw you do it. Okay, cool. Now it's back out on the track. Zip, zip, zip around, and then what?
Right.
Well, what's left?
I know. So you went to the trials or whatever. How long total did you stay from time you arrived at Indy till time you left?
3 hours tops.
So you stayed 3 hours. How long in the 3 hours did you actually spend watching that versus eating or hanging out or doing whatever else you could do that was not race related?
45 minutes to an hour.
So for 2 hours, what did you do?
Well, talked and ate and drank and hung out in the suite and chit-chatted, and then basically in the background you had the noise of the cars blowing by.
So in other words, for the time trials, which I'm sure costs an ass load of money to get there, to get this kind of access that you had, I don't know, and I don't even want to venture a guess at what it costs for that. But for whatever it costs to do that, you did exactly what you could have done at Applebee's for $50.
Basically, yeah. Right. So, anyway, come race weekend, though.
Yeah, no, I want to hear about this, because I can see, man, maybe time trials or whatnot. It's not the big race. So, bring everybody up to speed on what happened on race weekend.
So, come race the week of the race. Right. We had a block of hotel rooms at a hotel there for the whole weekend.
Oh, so you had hotel rooms already, too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So a block of hotel rooms for family, guests, friends, etc.
Right, and 80 tickets.
And 80 tickets.
All right. So I can imagine this is a big party for you.
Yeah. So my brother-in-law asked me on Monday, when are you coming down? Are you coming down on Saturday? Are you coming down on Sunday? I said, I'm not going.
What?
I said, I'm not going.
At all?
At all. He goes, well, why not? It's race day. And I said, I know. I've already been there a couple of times, been there, done that, got the T-shirt. I saw all I need to see. I'm done. That's it. So I didn't go.
You didn't go at all?
I didn't go at all.
Did you even watch it on TV?
No, I didn't even watch it on TV. What can I tell you?
So you had tickets. All right, now I have to ask. And give me a ballpark, low to high, what these tickets would cost. What one ticket would cost.
What, are you talking actual are you talking actual race day ticket?
Race day ticket. What does that cost?
Because you have to have a ticket every day you go in there.
Okay. So race day was how much?
$1,000.
$1,000 for a ticket. I'm going to assume
for a suite ticket.
Okay, and I'm going to assume that you were given tickets for you, and you had available to you tickets for at a minimum you and a friend, a chick, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you basically had $2,000 worth of tickets on race day.
That would be correct, sir.
Okay, now on top of that, how much are the tickets for any other day during the month of May?
I think they're like $10 that you just go in there and watch the time trials and people running around.
Now that would give you the access to all the other shit?
No, that's just to sit in the stands.
No, I'm talking about the tickets. I'm talking about the access that you had.
Oh, well, you see, it's kind of hard because it comes in a package.
Just ballpark, $200 a day.
Let's see,
roughly.
Yeah, you could probably say that.
So 200 times 2, that would be you and whoever.
Right.
That's 400 a day. There's 31 days in May.
Yeah, but
so
it's not. But the race was last week, so.
Okay, so 25 days.
Right.
So $400 a day times 30 days is what? $12,000.
Yeah.
Plus $4,000 more for race day.
Right.
And you stayed a half hour.
Well, I mean, what was there left to see? That's my point. I mean, it's just like, all right, I stood there, saw the cars blow by, saw them change some tires. You know, I mean, seriously, what else is there to see?
Dude, that is like fucking buying cruise tickets and fucking watching the cruise boat go away.
Well, that just goes to show you my passion for racing.
That is classic.
So that was the race experience.
So you're a big 500 fan now, right?
Yeah, huge.
That's great.
I don't know. It just doesn't do anything for me. I find more entertainment in Top Fuel drag racing.
Oh yeah, Top Fuel, man. Now you're talking quality.
You know, you get Stephen Piercy out there, and see the rails and the funny cars and stuff. That's more entertaining to me than just watching cars just keep going around and around and around.
Right. Well, I can't say I disagree with you there.
I mean, you got that.
Oh, God, that's great.
Thank you, Stephen. So you got that quarter-mile drag race, right. And these cars go blowing down through there at from standstill to end of the race at 300 miles an hour.
Right.
Blowing smoke and fire and, the chances of an engine blowing or something like that. That's more exciting to me.
Yeah, no. The whole thing is, dude, believe me, I'm not saying that you should be a race fan because you had tickets. I just think it's hilarious the amount of of cost that you were just like, I'll stay a half hour and then I'll go have some dinner.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't, the whole thing just didn't surround me, obviously, I was just I was just a part of a part of it. You know what I mean? It's just, I've been there, done that, saw it, got the T-shirt, got the hell out of there, went home. I was like, all right, okay, that was cool.
You spent more time driving to the event than you did being there.
You're right. It took me 2 hours one way, so 4 hours round trip, 3 hours hanging at the track. So, yeah, you're right.
And then you said, fuck it, I'm not going back for the real event.
Yeah, I'm not going back. And I didn't. Yeah, so there you are. So, hey, hate me if you want. If you're a race fan, more power to you. It's just not my cup of tea.
You're a race fan. Sure hope you enjoyed seeing those 2 empty seats on TV.
Yeah, don't worry. My tickets didn't go to waste. Believe me, there were people clamoring to have them.
Yeah, were you the guy in section ZZ, row 364? Yeah, those empty tickets. Those were Neely's.
Yeah.
So tell me at least that all 80 tickets were used.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right, good.
Are you kidding? That's like you said, that's the Super Bowl of race day. So, of course.
How come I could just see you standing out in front of Indy with your fucking leather jacket on and fucking scalping those tickets?
Nice.
2,000 free champagne.
Yeah,
2,000 free champagne.
Right.
You are fucking out of control, dude.
Yeah, whatever. All right, man. Well, what do you say we get into some music?
All right. What do you want? What are we playing here?
Well, I'm going to dedicate this next song to the 2 empty seats that were at the Indy 500 this past week.
Okay.
So this is Flotsam and Jetsam with Empty Air.
And by the way, you know who wrote this song?
Yeah, Eric Braverman.
Well, that's how I roll.
Thank you, Eric. And he'll be on next week.
Yes, Eric will be with us next week live.
That is confirmed.
That is confirmed. Eric and Judas Priest all in the same show. What a show that's going to be.
All right. Well, here it is. This is Flotsam and Jetsam by way of Eric Braverman, and this is Empty Air exclusively here
on your Classic Metal Show.
Thanks for checking out the best of the Classic Metal Show. You can tune into the Classic Metal Show live every Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern, exclusively at www.theclassicmetalshow.com.